and I'm going to try to wrap up this idea of these combining like terms, but I'm going to do a quick example with you. So all you have to do is just listen carefully and watch. I know it's going to be hard for you to do because right now a lot of you are probably saying, I don't know how to do this. I can assure you it's super simple. So let's do some easy examples. So let's try maybe sorting some of these fruits, and then let's try to find their total. So I'm going to sort. Again, this is kind of what we're doing. We're given an expression. Again, we have different kind of pictures that go along with it. Again, these can be like your variable terms. Again, you group them together, meaning you get those ones that are all similar, meaning they share the same variable. And so if you notice, hey, I can kind of group those that look similar, okay? And so now, well, how many total watermelons will I have? Well, I'm not really sure because I don't know what number should go here. Anytime that you're unsure of that, well, maybe you can put a nice simple 1 right there. And to make it even more specific, it's a positive 1. So I could say that's positive 1. And I could do that also for these other terms as well. And so we are always combining, meaning adding. But you have to be careful though, because you have to include that sign, whether it's negative or positive. And so what does that mean? Well, how many total watermelons do I have? I have 4, plus 1 is 5, plus 3 is 8. So I have 8 total watermelons. Alright, so now how many total oranges do I have? I have 2 plus 3. That's going to be real simple. That's going to be 5. I only have 7 grapes, and so I don't need to add to anything else, so I just keep it 7. And let's see, how many strawberries do I have? I have 3, 4, 5. So a total of, if I can write it, you guessed it, 5. Alright. So again, that's a super simple idea, and so you would write your expression as 8 watermelons plus 5 oranges plus 7 grapes plus 5 strawberries. Let's try another one. Alright, so now we have a little bit of candy. Everybody loves candy, right? Including myself. So we got 4, we have, and now we have some negatives in here. So what's going to happen? Well, it's going to be the same idea that we had before, but we're going to make sure that we can get the correct totals in there. Alright, so we're all out of candy, but we want to make sure we can get those totals correctly. So let's start with these Snickers here. So how many Snickers? Well, if I have 6 and I take away 7, again, we're looking at these numbers here. Those are those coefficients that we're talking about. And so I'm looking, alright, what's 6 minus 7? Well, it's very simply, that's a negative 1. Again, be careful when you're working with values of different signs. You want to make sure you can label it carefully for yourself. So if we have 5 negative and 1 positive, that's going to end up being a negative 4. Similar idea, we're going to have for Skittles, we're going to just have a positive 1, and put a positive 1. And for our Warheads, we're going to have a negative 2. So again, make sure you can see those examples in there. For yourself as well, if I can go back to this, again, usually I just highlight those variable terms together, and so I'd say, alright, I know that I have a 10x, so I have negative 10x, I have a negative 2y, and notice I use a different color because I'm saying that's a different variable term, and so I'm going to maybe do the ones that are in common first. So I could say these are all in common because they have that y variable there, and I can say that my constants here are just those numbers. Again, I can combine them like this. I'm going to say, alright, well, I have negative 10x. That's all by itself because there's nothing else to go with it. And so now what's going to be, let's see if we can draw this out. What is going to be, I have a negative 2, So maybe on the side here I can kind of write -2, and I have a +3, and I have a -4. So what is that going to be in total? Well, I know that -2 plus 3 is a +1, and then I have 1 minus 4 is a -3. So then I would say, okay, I have -3, and not just -3 anything, it has to be -3 y. I have -3y, and what's going to be my constant terms? Well, let's write that in orange for ourselves. I have 4, +4, -10. Very simply, again, you can check on your calculator, that's going to be a -6. So I'd have -6 here. Again, make sure you're seeing this is our simplified algebraic expression because we can't go any further than that. I want to try one more on here as well for ourselves. I want to see, what does that picture look like? Well, let me actually get to the right slide. Here we go. So let's actually, I want to do that last one because I want to see what it looks like. Well, I'm going to have 8 negatives. So what I can do, and then this kind of goes back to that last year where you draw out the picture. And let me do it on this, on this side. Let's go back. Now I'm going to say, okay, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'm going to have 8 total. So I have 8 negatives here. I'm going to have 10 positives. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. And actually, I'm going to take a nice little shortcut. Well, maybe not. Just kidding. Usually you can copy and paste it, but again, you kind of see in this idea in here. The reason why I'm doing this is because I'm just going to do this first little step here. What happens when we, again, combine these together? Again, we're talking about a 0 pair. What is a 0 pair? 0 pair. Well, it's when you have a +1 and a -1. When you combine them, what do you end up with? You guessed it, it's in the title, it's a 0 pair. So each of these, when you circle them, they cancel out. So that's just going to be 0. So what you can do is you can kind of use these to pair off, and that's what we're doing when we're adding those integers together. So you say, okay, I use this one and that one, this one, that one. Then you kind of cross them out one at a time, making sure that you're very careful about it, because what should you end up with? Well, I have -8 and +10. I have +2 left over. So kind of use this representation as well, because what this is going to do is you're going to say, okay, hey, I have 2 positives left over, and that was just kind of that first step. So kind of use that idea, maybe try drawing it out first and then getting the simplified expression.